into the next deck here. Trundle Bundle, or Harrowing Trundle, depending on how you look at it here, is a combo control deck that's based around the fact that Trundle creates an Ice Pillar for us when he's summoned as opposed to when he's played. This is notably very useful when we bring Trundle back with things like our namesake, Harrowing, or other effects like Rekindler or Chronicler of Rune. So the basic idea is we're going to play out a bunch of Trundles, and they're all going to die over the course of a game. And then we Harrowing to bring back a bunch of Trundles into play, which summons a bunch of Ice Pillars into our hand, which then the Trundles get bigger when they attack for each 8+ cost card you have. And you can attack for 40+ with Overwhelm, or sometimes even 60+ with Overwhelm if you manage to get 6 Trundles back. That's very difficult for your opponent to deal with. Now, how do we survive to make that happen? This is a very board-centric based control deck. We've got things like Vile Feast and Flash Freeze and Vengeance and Ruination, typical control deck tools that you would expect, but Thresh is our second champion, which cares about seeing units dying. So rather than playing cards like Avalanche at the bottom end of our curve, we're playing things like Hapless Aristocrat, Omenhawk, Sentry, so that way we can flood the board to be able to level Thresh more easily, and playing this more unit-centric board control deck means that we get to play Glimpse Beyond as another piece of card advantage to find our key cards that we're looking for more consistently. So let's go ahead and dive on into some games with this and see how it feels here today. Mr. Born Healer, thanks for the third of a year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. When the opponent plays Settle the Wreckage, sometimes they have Judgment, to be fair. Ash Sajani, so mid-range deck with an aggressive slant here. Ruination's actually quite good in this matchup, but I don't know if it's quite good enough to keep in the opener. I'm going to keep the rest of these, I think, just good, cheap early plays. Nice. Okay, and with the Catalyst of the Aeons here, something that's important to note with Catalyst is we can play a 1-drop on 1, and then still play this on 3. We'll bank our spell mana on turn 2. So we will likely skip playing something this turn, so that way we can play this out next turn. Ideal. Even if it does mean delaying our Omenhawk trigger for a turn, I think getting our ramp out ahead of curve is ideal here. Yeah, and with the Trundle draw there, playing Catalyst this turn means that I get to play this next turn. You'll notice I played the Catalyst out proactively there. The reason why I did that is because if I just pass back to my opponent there, and my opponent is a good Runeterra player, they're likely just going to end the turn and burn my mana. I genuinely did not realize how much being constantly upset with the way Wizards has made their game and the direction they've taken it in was seeping into all facets of my life. And I would bet there are a lot of people that still play Magic that also don't realize that. At least I had the justification that it was like my job. And while my income has gone down a good bit to stream games that I prefer to play, I'm much happier streaming games that I prefer to play, so that's a worthwhile exchange for me personally. Poor Trundle. It might have been right, honestly, to just pass the turn there and burn their mana when they pass back to me. That might have been wrong on my part. JK, nailed it.
All the world on one arrow.
Omenhawk out here as a chump blocker.
Show me a target.
Hold on 1 second. Declan, take this up to mom. Now. So she can get. Because I'm working late. Because I'm hungry. I didn't want to walk upstairs and get more food. Christy suggested sending Declan up with my bowl. Let me tell you, chat, having tiny minions that you can order about and make them do things is wonderful. It's the best part about having children. You know, it kind of makes sense, but like Runeterra and a lot of other games, they're just better games than Magic from a core game design perspective, because like these games have had the benefit to learn from all the mistakes Wizards of the Coast and all these other games have made over the course of the last many, many years now. Like, Magic is forever stuck with decisions that were made in 1993 dictating how their game works today. That's rough.
But I'm king. Nothing escapes my watch. Winter take you.
Achilles? Where are you? That egg, did it move?
Not quite sure I know what the word jank means anymore. The way people use that word makes me think that they probably don't know what it means either.
Few earn the right to call themselves Trifarian.
SC Gamer, thank you for the very generous tip. I appreciate that. My dashboard wasn't loaded. Let me get it refreshed here. I think I'm just killing Ash here before she can attack and frostbite something. Yeah, our first harrowing is going... So the only downside, this is for 4 brews I just submitted. I will be happy to get those added into the queue.
Just a moment.
Thanks for the support. Now, one downside to our current situation is that our opponent notably killed our Trundles before they leveled. So harrowing at the moment is not amazing because our Trundles are only on the base level. Okay. You know what, let's get a pillar down to start. This is mostly a free roll because it gives the mana back.
Only the finest serve.
Quick, thank you. You're the best. And humble. Second pillar to hook the 5/1 could have been okay. I don't know. I have the deal one in my hand, so that seems fine.
Bow to no one. Bristle, attack! Watch, learn. I'll do it myself.
Thresh is getting to 3 out of 6 here now. This is a backup Thresh potentially, but ideally we'd like to level this one. Still a little bit off. I'm playing this out with two vulnerable things. We can maybe force. That's not terrible. I should probably technically attack into this one, huh? I'm just throwing these away so Thresh can get closer to leveling. And if they play something that dies to box, I can level up Thresh.
Trundle is a mountain and covered in ice.
requires a sharp blade.
Kind of feels like we're still in a bad spot, though, right? So future Threshes are going to be leveled. I think we're just ruinating here, though. They still have 3 cards left is the problem.
Gotcha.
Well, harrowing was our best draw if we weren't going to be dead to decimate next turn. Yeah, Assessor is a big part of what makes the opponent's archetype playable. Keeps a constant flow of cards going, which means they can outcard decks that are bigger like our deck is. Even after that card got nerfed to 5 mana, it's still very, very good. Kalista Nocturne with Noxious. That's interesting. Vengeance is fine, but it's probably too slow to keep in the opener here. Glimpse is probably mediocre for similar reason. I'm going to keep the Trundle. Going to hope to mulligan into a Catalyst or other 1s and 2s here. Great. Hey, thanks for the 5 months, Mimic. I appreciate you keeping me around. Welcome back. I'm enjoying Runeterra too. It's been a lot of fun. Opponent. Found some cheaper things here, which is nice. I have a very reasonable curve here. Depends on... So, like, both their champions are fearsome here, but they're not playing Elise. So I wonder if their whole deck is fearsome, or if they have a Nightfall sub-theme. If they're on a bunch of fearsome threats, our blockers aren't going to be amazing, but if they're on just generic aggro that's playing to the board, we'll have plenty of blockers out early, which is nice. Chronicler is nice. It's a fearsome blocker, and it can trip Sentry in play, which is great. Yep, sometimes life happens. Sometimes you click play for a match of Runeterra, and then your kid knocks over their drink, or unplugs your computer, or your cat knocks your keyboard off the desk, you know. A lot of things in real life that can happen. Rocket Kench. This matchup's a little bit awkward, so the Ruination part of our deck is quite good here, but the small unit part of our deck isn't amazing. Comcast is always down. Yep. I am alone, but not lonely. I feel you. Thanks for the follow. Any good Commander Ledros decks? Yeah, a lot of the Shadow Isle based control decks play that card as a finisher. So the Go Ezreal deck up on my website has Commander Ledros as a finisher in it. There's a Cornea control deck that plays one or two of that as a finisher. The Go Hard Twisted Fate deck often plays Ledros as a finisher. No deck really plays it as like a 3 of, but as a 1 to 2 of at the top end, it's fine. There's actually a 2-card combo with him in the Dreadway. That's something we've played in the past. It's been a little bit since we played Ledros Dreadway. We should probably try that again at some point. Brandon HG, thanks for the 3rd of a year. Yeah, the one turn kill with him in Dreadway is a thing we've played in the past. It's been a patch or 2 since we poked at it though. Think I Tavern Keeper this turn, and then plan to Sentry plus Chronicler, draw a card with Sentry coming back in the following turn.
You've been drinking this?
You've been drinking this? Ezreal Team of Field Rush is super good. This game is very brew friendly. There are a ton of things in Runeterra that are very reasonably competitive, even if they're not the best deck in the format. So, we have our harrowing set up here.
It's a big responsibility to shepherd.
The problem is that we haven't had any Trundles die yet. It's a good start. Want to get Trundle leveled and get Trundle dead so we can harrowing him. I've liked Ezreal Teemo better than Teemo Sejuani.
I make shepherding look easy.
Rough start, Bushu's. There is a special card back for getting 3 wins. So if you didn't have anything else to do this afternoon, you feel like playing anyways, it's a reasonable thing to play for. I don't think I'm supposed to attack in and damage their stuff here. Honestly, this turn might be Ice Pillar into Ruination.
Round him up.
I've got this. Start the round. Where are you off to?
We look after our own.
Alert the village.
I'm gonna Pillar as a soft pass here still. Hey, congrats, Dark.
Return to us.
They didn't take the bait, chat.
I lead my own. To heal and protect.
I'll leave that first part to you, Soraka. Stand back. Shiver in your boots. It's good to be the king.
Yeah, opponent read our play like a book there.
I'll knock 'em dead.
Trundle's about to get real big.
Another path, another problem.
Rough press pick. They have a Bastion here. They can save one thing.
Take heart. Live with purpose.
Just drawing a card and cranking that to 17. I think that's fine with me. Do I want to draw 2 cards here? I almost think I do, right? The second Ruination is actually pretty good here, because now I could Ruinate on their turn if they go wide, and then untap and Harrowing. $19 out of 22 here. I've had 2 Trundles die, or 3 Trundles.
They're all so cute.
Oh, right, and a Rekindler, so we get 3 Trundles here. 1 bundle of Trundles, please. Yeah, I think double a limb is a pretty ideal structure, as far as tournament structure is concerned. I feel like when they designed this tournament Precipic, they wanted to do it based on optimizing how much time it took to play. Like, it kind of felt like they wanted to minimize the amount of time to play the matches.
You pay, I talk to spirits. These are my rules.
Smashing! One smack'll do. Get ready for a beatdown.
This is outrage.
Is still dead here? I think they're still dead here, right? We can put this here.
Take forever, why don't...
Osu, help!
Osu, help! This is technically worth a point of damage here too if they have a heal tube. I suppose not if they put this here. Exactly dead. God bless.
You can't take this crown.
We have the crown, chat. Any tips for a new player? Play all of the tutorial levels. There's extra optional levels that aren't required. And I would recommend playing all of them because they really give you a feel for how a lot of the mechanics work out, and playing through all the rest of the challenges, it gives you some account experience as well. So you'll get some free stuff for doing it while also learning key game mechanics. How do you hold so many Trundles? It's difficult, but we manage. I believe the rounds are hard locked at their given start time, Steve ate my cat. I believe the rounds always start at the posted times. full mulliganing here. Vengeance is again fine here, but I don't think it's good enough to keep in the opener. I think I want other cheap units that play to the board to start. Opponents, Ezreal Swain's more of a mid-range control deck. Ramp into Trundle's a great start for us here. Deck lists have to be open for the tournament because of coverage.
I got the goods.
Alright, that's unfortunate. Have to do this. If they have a Thermo Beam here, they could hit me and take a spell, which would be rough. But if they don't have Thermo Beam, I think it's right to do this. That's brutal.
What do we have here? Jack pocket.
This copies a spell out of our deck every time it hits us. This card's very, very good. Yikes.
Smells like opportunity.
This is technically a 2-for-1. It's stopping them from drawing a spell. All of my spells are good. My #1 recommendation for people interested in learning how to deck build in a new game is don't start with deck building. The best way to learn deck building in any card game is to start with decks that other people have built and start asking yourself why the person that built that deck has made the decisions that they've made. Well, their hand is also awkward to start, it looks like. Their play is deal 1, draw a card for 4.
These are troll
Some things are the same across all games, press a pick.
others cannot.
I don't really want to lose Trundle to a Ravenous Flock here, so I'm just going to go ahead and pass. Bandy Savage, thank you for the 26 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. No, I said I didn't want to lose Trundle to a Ravenous Flock opponent. Did I stutter? Maybe I stuttered. At least we know Vile Feast was the spell they took from us. But I'm king. Urgh.
Leave them nothing.
I'm just letting this hit me. Might be wrong. I might be right to use this as a gain 6. For a Vi Whirling Death Builder round. Thank you, Lampton. Sounds great. Get that added to the deck queue after I'm done today.
King of trolls coming through.
They are not quite on boat mana yet. Soon, though.
They're out there. I'll spot them.
Really hoping we can level this before he dies. Ideally, we want leveled Trundle so our Harrowings are better. But feels like with this play, there's a good chance this dies this turn. Opponent's deck plays copies of Flock, and then Flock is also Swain's champion spell. You have Thermo Beamed my Swain.
Empire above all. Troll out.
Yeah, I'm gonna freeze this regardless.
Pledge or perish.
Casual card games are best card games, press
Bring
pick.
these lands to their knees. Artillery
Yeah, the fact that our Trundle hasn't leveled yet means that this harrowing isn't nearly as good as we want it to be. Which is rough. Had we gotten Trundle leveled, this would have been a very excellent draw. We'd be able to punk them out here, but opponent did a very good job of keeping our Trundle from leveling.
Like the signal fire.
They're probably going to play Swain out here, and I think if they do that, I probably play Chronicler, so as have a blocker.
No place for the kind anymore.
Glory, courage, excuses for war. We are at war.
You know what? Let's Ice Pillar here. And then with this having the buff from Omen Hawk, I can actually hook this next turn and kill it and maybe have a shot.
I got ways to finding mushrooms.
I think it's still fun to play in tournaments, Precipic, even if you fancy yourself a more casual player on average. I just don't know that I find it, like, super worthwhile to, like, invest a ton of myself into them. Like, if I show up to a tournament, it's just gonna be, like, with 3 decks I incidentally like. I'm not gonna spend, like, all week testing for it anymore. Because even card games have a lot of variance. Even if you spend a bunch of time prepping, there's a good chance you just, like, get hit by that aspect of the game. That's why I really hope we get, like, some open entry monthly tournaments for Runeterra, because I would love to, like, you know, just play a tournament once or twice a month that, like, I just pay an entry fee to play in and get to play, as opposed to, like, grinding to qualify for. Like, the qualification tournaments are neat, but from, like, a more casual perspective, that's why, like, Grand Prix and Magic were always so successful, right? Because, like, you could just show up and play and, like, have a chance to spike from nothing. Yeah, like, if I didn't have the other thing come up that I can't talk about yet, I would have played the Last Chance Gauntlet, and if I would have queued via the Last Chance Gauntlet, I would have just picked my 3 favorite decks off my website and run the event, right? I would have played Go Ezreal, Leona Swain, and then a third deck that I'm not sure offhand what the third one I would play. Maybe this deck even. Trundle Bundle's fun. But I wouldn't have spent, like, an insane amount of hours grinding or anything like that. That's just, like, not what I'm into for card games anymore. Yeah, just general, or just open tournaments in general, right? And I would be very surprised if consistent open tournaments isn't on Riot's radar for Runeterra. Like, I feel like if your goal is to only have seasonal tournaments every 2 months, you wouldn't build a full tournament client. Like, it feels like if you're only having 6 events per year, you just run it ad hoc like Hearthstone and Arena do. Easy mulligan on my 7 drops here against Pirate Egger. Keep my cheap card and my Thresh, I think.
Let's get him, crew.
Fight night events are invitational, eh?
The tree.
Sure. Yeah, they don't even have to be for cash, Niv. You could have an open tournament every so often where the winner gets, there's a special cosmetic for them every month. You could just give people gold coins in client. Like,
I'll burn for what I've done.
oh, I really want a catalyst next turn.
Fortune favors the bold.
Everything about Artifact other than actually playing the game was really well done. Turns out, though, if the playing the game part of your game isn't good, it's really not good. Yeah, and ideally, like I think ideally what I'd like to see, I think Runeterra's start of their organized play is very good as a baseline right now. But in addition to the 2 qualification paths for the seasonal tournament they had right now, I think if they had a weekly or some other monthly tournament you could play in to qualify, like if you had like weekly or monthly tournaments that pay out just in-game items but give invites to the seasonal tournament, I think that would be pretty ideal. So that way you could qualify via gauntlets, you could qualify via ladder, you could qualify via playing in these 4 in-game item tournaments. I think if you asked me to design an organized play system for a digital card game, that would probably be the setup I would recommend in a perfect world. No, I actually disagree with that, Kashadan. I think secondary markets for card games flipping blow. I think you could maybe make the argument that a secondary market is marginally better than all the other garbage options that games like Hearthstone and Arena do, but being just less garbage than what Hearthstone and Arena do doesn't make it good. It's still not good. That's a big gangplank. Hey chat, remember when this card had 6 toughness? Who remembers when this card had 6 toughness? Papa Riot, can I have my 6 toughness Trundle back? Pretty please?
Nothing escapes my watch. Hang them by their entrails.
Captain's orders.
Yeah, better by comparison does not equal good. Is exactly correct.
Light the signal fires.
Light the signal fires. And now the problem is we're at 6, and the opponent's archetype has an incredible amount of reach. I guess I'm technically at 9 with this, but...
King of Trolls coming through.
He has 6 toughness, chat! Riot heard my cries and gifted me a 6 toughness Trundle. Thank you, Papa Riot. I appreciate you. Look at how good they are to their creators, chat. We knew you cared. Oh no! Oh no! Not leveled Gangplank! Now Trundle's too small again. Why is Trundle's gonna have performance anxiety, chat? He's just constantly too small. He's just like, why don't you love me? I'm trying my hardest, Jeff.
Hang them by their entrails. You got a problem?
I'm not dead yet. Missed it by this much.
I'm not a loser. You're the loser.
You're the loser. Trundle's such a salty baby. All right, I had something to eat at the start of the session, so we're not done playing. Please don't go anywhere, but I need to dip into the restroom and brush my teeth so I can put my retainer back in really quick. So be back in 2 minutes. Thanks, chat. No, it's not count the votes, chat. It's count every legal vote, which is a dog whistle for don't count votes that voted Democrat. You gotta get the propaganda right if you're gonna spread it. Sajani Trindamere with Targan as the second region. Interesting. And keep Trundle in the opener, so that way he can start dying.
Elise, where are you?
What card is that, Press Pick?
You have to get me out of here.
Box. Yeah, card could be fine. It's very good against the little harrowing decks. The baby harrowing decks that could.
Can see the Devastian border from here.
Yeah, there's a lot of 3 toughness champions in the game right now.
For the homestead.
Man, there's an old command. The Grimoire deck boxes are lovely. I have some of them sitting around. That's an old sponsor. Nice. One turn late of getting Trundle down early, but still better late than never. Oh, so they're an overwhelmed deck without. So they're an overwhelmed deck without Without Noxious then. Interesting. Think I just take this hit for 8 and then get Trundle down here?
The trolls are going to war! These stories were true.
I generally clear out the old sponsor commands. Sometimes I miss them though. Outriders is very scary. I wonder if they're like Frel Overwhelm just playing Pale Cascade based on Outriders. I could see that. So if I play this, I'm gonna bank 3 spell mana this turn, and then next turn I can Flash Freeze and Vengeance, which leaves us in a pretty okay spot.
Poor man's gone mad.
Thank you to everybody that took the time to sub on the new highlight channel, by the way. Looks like we're up like 200 subs since I went live this morning. Appreciate you all. That's where all of my shorter highlight videos will be going moving forward. The existing youtube.com/Jeff Hoagland will be just full stream archives now. And the highlight videos on the channel will still link to full stream videos on the other channel for if you see a highlight and want to watch more. Alright, so we put this here. We put this here. We put this here. And I think I click OK to play around Battle Fury. I think there's a chance they're playing Battle Fury. I'm gonna put it back to how it was. So the old channel will put everything in your what's it called now? So I'm putting notifications back on for all the highlights on the old channel again, which is another benefit to splitting it up. Some people wanted notifications for everything. And this will allow them to do it. Played them like a fiddle, chat. Like a fiddle. Sniffed that Battle Fury out. What rank am I? You can always find my current rank by typing !rank in chat.
Many tribes under one banner. Well met, Outland King.
I think I'm trading Trundle for this.
Bow to your king.
Oh, you know what? I can do this into Thresh, and then Thresh plus Vile Feast kills this, right? My rank doesn't matter, chat. That's the joke. For people that don't understand the rank command and can't take the context clue, it's that my rank doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. They're probably not going to be a good culture fit. That's fine. Anybody that's super worried about what my rank is, they can go watch someone else. It's really not a big loss. I think we're probably dead here, chat.
Come from the dark.
You got a problem?
I'm not dead, chat. We're only mostly dead. How can you prove you're having fun if you're not rank 1? Yeah, and that's one of those things that, like, it's something that transcends card games. There's always this, you know, oh, well, in Masters, the games are pure, or in Mythic, the games are pure, or I'm Legend, so these players are better. And, like, there are bad card game players making mistakes and misplays at every ranking level of every game that's ever been made. This is how it works. What's the final level? Yeah, you have to buy that one. That's DLC.
I want that one.
Go tell mommy I said you can buy that level, and she will put in the information to buy it, okay? Walk very carefully, please. I think we're dead here, right? I guess we could theoretically draw a Flash Freeze next turn. I have Vile Feast to run back the Thresh into this, and then Vile Feast. So this gets me a Thresh.
Then found home.
And then these Threshes kill these, technically. And then I could draw a Flash Freeze next turn, I suppose. Yeah, you're right, I should message Christy. So, for people who weren't here last night, before I did my normal variety segment, Jacob and I streamed what?
They're still working on it.
I don't know, bud. I don't know if that's true. Alright, with that we're dead. Jacob and I streamed Minecraft Dungeons together for like 2 hours last night before we did my normal evening variety segment.
You're the loser.
And then after we finished, because I had a sponsored game scheduled that I needed to do that I didn't want to skip over last night. That was actually really good. Metamorphosis was a lot of fun. Jacob apparently played Dungeons on his own for like another 2.5 hours afterwards. Which usually he doesn't take to games quite that much, so if he wants him the last DLC, he can have the last DLC. It is basically Minecraft Diablo. If you are a parent with small children and you enjoy ARPGs, it is a great multiplayer ARPG that you can all play together on the Switch. If you're an adult who just likes ARPGs and the Minecraft IP, it's a very reasonable game. Shen Fiora. I'm gonna mulligan the Harrowing to start. Glimpse is very good against Fiora to deny them a kill. Thresh seems fine as well. A little bit worse when we're attacking on evens, but still fine.
These woods protect their own.
What's that noise?
I would like to block.
I must get out of here.
I've got your back.
Next step, Path of Exile. So I'm going to go ahead and pass the turn here, I think, because this gives me a chance to draw Catalyst next turn.
Run and release. Steady my hand.
Lady Elise, where are you?
Yep, I mean, like, and that mindset is true in games like, even more true in games like Runeterra compared to games like Magic, where, like, even in games like Magic, where, generally speaking, you want to be playing what you enjoy anyways. In Runeterra, there's so many competitive decks, you should definitely just be playing what you enjoy. I think I just take the opportunity to Vengeance there. I'm going to burn my mana otherwise, and taking Fiora out of play is very, very valuable for us. Hey, Syndrome. Well, thanks for dropping it off. Hey, appreciate it.
My steel is yours.
Please,
I'll leave more blockers in play as opposed to fewer.
The trolls are going to war!
The eye of twilight sees all.
In a way, Runeterra is kind of tough if you're a Spike competitive player. Because, like, in other games, it's very easy to ask, okay, what deck should I be playing if I'm a competitive player? And you get just a few answers. Whereas in Runeterra, I'm just going to pass her, actually. I don't want to lose this to Riposte this turn. In Runeterra, there's so many decent answers to that question. It really comes down to playstyle preference. Like, okay, what do you want to play? Well,
Protect and strike. Nature blesses her followers.
huh. What do we think about block here and then Vile Feast this? That's probably the play, right? Then we can draw some cards here. Wow, I'm really surprised. I'm really surprised this didn't get riposted. This is up to having seen 3 deaths.
I long for a worthy opponent.
Okay.
Enforced equilibrium.
Harry, riposte? You are hardly fair.
Try me. Intruders! Nature blesses her followers.
They look angry.
If Trundle dies here, Thresh levels. It's really unfortunate that I don't have Ruination mana here, though. That could be a big deal.
Nothing escapes my watch.
So this lets me attack into here, which is great.
In Avarosa's name.
I think I want to try and kill the Shin here since it's so close to leveling.
Strike without worry.
Our wills align.
Now my Thresh dies.
Nature blesses her followers.
This does mean I get to kill this though. And my next Thresh is leveled, and I have a Thresh in my hand.
See the Demacian border from here.
Justice will be served.
Am I dead to open attacks? I think I'm dead to open attacks.
Enforced equilibrium.
They get to challenge my 3 things. Yeah, the rally on their previous turn meant that I was forced to Frostbite, and the fact that I was forced to Frostbite meant that I didn't have Ruination mana the following turn. And we really, really needed Ruination up that turn to not just die. Yeah, I think I'm happy with where this is at. That was a close game. What a sad day to be a Jacob. Apparently Declan was right, and the DLC that he wanted for Minecraft Dungeons doesn't release until the 9th. Which, for those of you that don't have a 6-year-old, needing to wait from now until the 9th for the DLC to release is approximately an eternity. Thresh cab for cutie. That's great. How did Twisted Fate Deep go? It was very mediocre. I think there's a reason why that archetype doesn't see play. To be fair, I've never been impressed with that deck, though. Like, even when it popped up and a bunch of people were playing it, we tried it and it felt mediocre then. 3 days, that's 144 half hours, Jeff. That's so many half hours. I appreciate that you translated it to the unit of time that he best comprehends. You can tell that my children pop on stream consistently. Hey, that's a great draw. Never not Hawk on 1, chat. Yeah, we almost got through there, right? Like, this close at the end. We'd have like one more blocker, we'd have been okay. If I don't have a DC? Yeah, Fiora decks in general are probably my third ban preference in terms of decks I'd prefer not to play against. It's like Lee Sin, Raka Kench, Fiora Shen. If you had me list in order decks I ban and pick ban. How many Captain Barons the opponent has in their hand? The answer better be a lot, otherwise passing like this is not good for them. These are troll lands, also known as Twitch, an Amazon subsidiary. Heads up deck list make it much easier. I saw a Lee deck that didn't have Bastion. Nice. Yeah, that's a good observation. they're gonna tell Trundle to get flocked. We'll glimpse him.
I'm king.
The real question is, after we finish this deck up, do I take a break for 2 hours and come back tonight for Witcher, or do I just fire the PlayStation up and switch right into Witcher 3? You know, it might be right to take the hit there since I have these Tavern Keepers in hand waiting to heal me.
Nothing escapes my watch.
I did eat, actually. Christy, normally I wouldn't consider it, but Christy, I ate food at the start of the set. My lovely wife brought me food. You're not wrong, Steve. Alright, well, we got our wish of getting a reason to play some heals out. Opponent's name is great. Hey, afternoon, Hippity. Good to see you, bye. Play who? Thanks for the 26 months. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Thanks for coming along with me as I explored other games. Now, if they want to tell this to get flocked, we get a point on him, which is great. Are they debating on if they want to damage this and flock this instead of this? That's also okay for us because I have backup Thresh here in hand. Rough. That's very true, multiple. Speaking of Runeterra after my speaking of variety games right after Runeterra, for tomorrow's stream, I'm going to be doing my normal morning Runeterra segment, but immediately afterwards, at about 1 o'clock, when we finish our second deck, we're going to be doing a sponsored segment for Godfall. And if you're one of my regulars with like an easy way to support my content who isn't always on in the afternoons, the Godfall segment pays me based on my viewer count. So hanging out for tomorrow's stream through the end is a great way to do me a flavor. I'm also interested to see how Godfall plays. It's the type of game I typically enjoy, but the reviews on it have been bad. So I'm interested to see if the gameplay is reasonable or not. Is a third-person action RPG slasher looter, whatever you want to call it. If they pass here, I might just burn their mana. Be kind of surprised if they passed. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm gonna pass. I don't want them to be able to open Ezreal, I don't think. They beamed my Thresh. Well, that's unfortunate.
Lilies? Where are you?
I don't think I want to attack here. We're up to 10 mana here, but again, notably, this opponent killed our Trundle before we could level him, so this harrowing isn't quite stellar just yet. If they drew a Mystic Shot off of the Progress Day, they get me here, but I think it's important that I try and use my mana. Nowhere to hide. That's not a terrible draw. So I get to do this and then blink it with Chronicler here, which is nice.
Time for the main event.
You know what? I'm gonna actually Ice Pillar here too. Give this vulnerable so that way my Chronicler can swing into it. Okay, so that's gonna die to a Flock. I think that's fine though. I think I'd rather draw a card here than save Thresh. This will get to hook Darius still because he's vulnerable. Yeah, Rekindler's a real good one. This is exactly the kind of value we want here. And like we're at 15, virtual 18, so like even Captain Pharaon's not super scary from this position. Probably just playing this turn so we don't burn extra mana off.
Now we're cooking.
Do we have a Whirling Death here? Or to like Whirling Death into here? And like keep this alive? Double Whirling Death? Oh, Death and Flock. Got it. Alright, hopefully they open on like an Ezreal or something. Oh, I guess if they have Ezreal, they don't have to. They can play him at the turn.
They don't know what
Wow, open Ezreal is so good for us here.
thought you'd never ask.
Just goodbye, friends. They could have another one. That's their first Ezreal, I believe, and they're 22 cards in. Good beats that they drew it for the turn instead of playing it at the end of last turn to open attacks. They have 7 mana, notably, not 8, so they don't have mana for Pharaon this turn. Wow, no place. That's so good for us. Huh. So, now we Trundle... Chronicler Trundle, right?
Time for a true display of skill. Firing.
They about to tell my Trundle to get blocked here? That would be unfortunate. They are telling him to get flocked. Rough.
Troll out.
Right, don't Poggers Day me. Don't do it. Have a heart. No Poggers Day.
Sounds dangerous. I'm in.
Trundle is much easier to kill at 5 health. Very, very good change. Riot knows what they're doing.
Return to us.
Alright, we're gonna have a good harrowing next turn, chat. Damn it! My poor Trundles, chat! My poor Trundles. They just cannot catch a break, chat. Good lord. I mean, to be fair, maybe I was just supposed to harrowing there. There's a real chance that harrowing was lethal regardless, because they're at 12. I might just be too focused on doing the thing.
No hesitation.
I really want to do the thing too. Like, alright, screw it. The right play is this. The fun play is this. I would like the record to reflect that I know what the correct play is here, and I am choosing not to make it.
It's always cold in the Freljord. One troll to rule them all.
These are troll lands, also known as Twitch, an Amazon subsidiary. I'm gonna kill the ice pillar before we harrowing, so I have more room on my bench. Also possibly not the right play. 100% the fun play.
I got ways to find me mushrooms.
Get ready for a beatdown, opponent. The trolls are going to war.
Pay dirt.
This is what this deck is looking to accomplish.
Dashing. Oh dear, this is gonna be fun.
The old +8 per Trundle. Get him.
A waste of my time.
One smack'll do, chat. Our opponent's got a great username and a wonderful emote.
But I'm king. This is gonna be fun. Get ready for a beatdown. One smack'll do. This is gonna be fun.
I love the different Trundle voice lines as he smacks right down the end. One smack'll do. I think I have all my region roads maxed now, huh? Yeah, looks like it. Alright, at any rate, yeah. This is a deck, if you haven't seen it before, this was one of the first decks I put up on my website. We've played it a few times we played it a number of times on stream before. It's been a lot of fun. I really don't have any changes to make to it. Let me double check. I think this is card for card the list that's up on my site. The one on my site, this list, I was pretty happy with this list today, so I feel like if it's not, I'll probably update it to here. The list on my site has one less harrowing, one more harrowing, one less ruination. It's playing one less, what is this one doing different? Oh, this one's playing flash freeze. Yeah, I actually like this. Yeah, I think I'm gonna update. Speaking of, I'm glad I checked this out. Yeah, I'm gonna make a note on to update the list on my site to be this one. Both the flash freezes were good. I don't know. I'm pretty indifferent about this split at the top, but yeah, flash freeze was good at multiple points in this set. And I like that inclusion. At any rate, normally I leave for a while and then come back because I eat dinner and do stuff in between. But Christy said I could just go right through. I think Omen Hawk is fine. I think you need cheap units to make Thresh happen. It just blocks early, and randomly having your things one bigger is good. So let's Someone said just in time for spoilers. Were there more